Hello, my crafty friends. Today we're making the book. This is the book that Tanya and I are going to do in our Hangout. Actually, we're using StreamYard this time instead of Hangouts. So we're calling them Craft Togethers instead of Hangouts now. But anyway, it's the same thing we've been doing for the past 7 months. This is our August book. And my daughter is, wave, Hannah.
Hi.
My daughter, this is her book, her idea. And these are some that she's already made. And so we're going to show you how to do that on this video, and then we'll make it in the Hangout. That way you will have the instructions on, you'll know what you need and all of that before you get there so you can make one along with us. This is the first one that she made, and it's much bigger, as you can see, than this one. This is basically the size we're making today. But you hold the book like this, and you open it. And so it's got flyleaf pages, and then you write in it across like this, or draw, or whatever you want to do in your book. Now, this one has only 3 signatures, so it's fairly thin, but it works nicely. This one has 6 signatures, and I think this is probably the size we'll be making. If you can see, it's Coptic bound, and then it has steps. Thank you. The stitching is stepped up and down on the cover, and then it's Coptic bound in each of those same places. So in the middle there aren't any stitches. It's just these 4 and these 4, which I think makes it cool. This is the book she made for me. I haven't done anything in it, but you can see that it allows you to open it up flat and work to have it Coptic bound. And there's the what the center of a signature would look like. Okay, Hannah, when you came up with this idea, you didn't watch a video of somebody doing it or something. What did you do? How did you figure out that you wanted to do this book?
Well, I saw this picture on Pinterest that was the book closed and then opened, and you could see lined paper for how it was supposed to be oriented. And this book was case bound with fabric covering the spine, like that. And I just pinned it to my board thinking, that's cool, I want to try that sometime. And then when I finally decided to try it, I thought it would open a lot easier if it was Coptic bound, because it needs to lay perfectly flat for you to write in it. And then I just kind of tried once.
Okay, so the picture you saw was a triangle.
Yes.
Okay, but that's the only thing about it that's really the same.
Well, and the way it was, I feel the way it's oriented is very clever. That was also in there.
Okay.
You know, like you didn't write it that way.
Yeah.
Which may be someone's impulse if you saw a book bound like this.
It would have been mine.
You know?
So it being oriented as a square and not a diamond
was also in there.
Was also in there. Okay. But doing it Coptic bound and the stepped up stitches, that's all your own idea. Let me see if you can see that, but maybe a little bit better on this one. The stepped up stitches. Okay. Now she said that the stitches start about 3/4 of an inch from the end, and they're 1/2 inch apart, and they step up by 1/4 of an inch each one. So this one's a 1/4 of an inch, this one's a 1/2 inch, this one's 3/4 of an inch, and this one's a full inch. And then they go back down on the other side.
I'm not gonna lie, when I actually placed them in for the cover, I just because when you're drawing a line for your binding holes, the top one's never going to be in the same place as the bottom one. I just positioned my holes based on the signature at the bottom for the first one, and then the signature at the top for the top one. It's probably not the best way to do it. That's just how I remember actually putting them in.
So you did the bottom cover, and then you stitched your signatures in, and then you did the top cover, and you hadn't pre-done the holes on the top one until you got there.
No, because they were a little different, and because this one was still drying at the time.
Okay.
But to start the Coptic binding the way I learned, which was on a YouTube video, you start with the bottom cover.
Okay.
And you bind it and the first signature together, which is why we have to make the covers like a day in advance of making the book.
So they can dry and be ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, one other thing about the cover, you can see that this one, the papers kind of come out the edges just a little bit. And we decided we didn't want to do that. We wanted it to be more like this one, where they're inside some. So this is a 6x6 square, and we decided to do our squares, and we just cut a piece of board, 6¼ by 6¼ so that we would have that little lip, and then we cut it in half. And that's how both of ours are done. It was just a piece of mat board that we cut, or chipboard. You could use whatever you want. We wanted, this was a little sturdier than the chipboard we had, so we did it. But it's a 6¼ by 6¼ square, and then you cut it straight down so that it comes into two pieces. And we're going to cover them. I'll make sure that we're going to cover them like this. So I'm going to cover up the gray side, and the white side will be the inside, which will help me know how to place my my stuff. Hannah's gonna, hers are
white.
She's gonna cover the white and leave the blue inside.
Yeah, I think this will show up better against white than dark. I don't know.
I bet it wouldn't make any difference. Let's see.
It's opaque but thin, so I can't decide.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Do it however you want. That's the fun thing about this. We can do it however we want because it's our book. Anyway, Hannah's going to kind of tell us the steps to go through to do this, because I've never made one of these before. This is her thing. But I did choose to do mine in leather this time, and she chose to do hers in fabric, because when we do the hangout or the craft together, she's going to do hers in leather, and I'm going to do mine probably in paper. So I'm doing one in leather right now.
Since you're using leather, that's pretty bendable, but you're probably going to want to try get at least this much space between them when you cut them out, so you have big enough flaps to push over.
Okay, so how big of flaps do you think they need to be?
At least ½ inch. When you're working with this, it doesn't you kind of have to clamp it and wait for it to dry and stuff.
Okay. This is Yes Paste that she's talking about. That's what I'm going to do with my leather.
At least when I've worked with the leather, because that's why I covered the one for your giveaway with. It was really hard to get it to stay down long enough for it to dry like that. And if you have wider flaps, it'll stay down better because it's easier to bend over and press and stuff.
Okay.
And I have a really big piece of fabric, so I'm going to put this much between them, so I just don't have to worry about it.
And she's going to use the art glitter glue with her fabric. One question. Do you think there's an advantage to which kind of, well, I don't really think that might actually be interesting, but which leather I glue down and which leather I leave to show?
If you want to emboss on it, yes. Other than that, I can't think of one, unless you plan to be holding the book and your hands sweat a lot. Then you might want the slicker side opposed to the fuzzy side. I don't know, but I can't really think of one that isn't aesthetic.
Okay, so it's just whichever look I like better. Okay.
And if you're going to emboss, you want the flatter side.
Right.
Because the fluffies
don't emboss well.
Do embossing.
Okay. Okay. Well, Hannah, why don't you go ahead and start while I decide. Because I hadn't pre-decided whether I wanted the this to show or not. I think I've got you on camera here. Good.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
I was just lying down so they could see this corner.
That's good.
That's what I'm starting at. Because I don't know. I was raised reading English, I suppose.
I don't know if y'all can see those little dots in the leather. I don't really think I like that. So I think I'm going to do it like this, because this looks very uniform. And that's what I want. Is this the kind of leather that you used? Okay, from my giveaway. Hannah did one of these, and I gave it away in my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. If you haven't seen that video yet, you can go look at that video and you can see that book that she made to give away. I've got thread in here I need to take off. Makes the table go. Sorry, you gang. You're going to have to listen to our table wobble. Okay, I could go straight up to that line, couldn't I? And then just fold it over. I don't think it really matters. Okay, so you're not cutting out your pieces until you've glued them down.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
Interesting.
I think I did I did them one at a time when I made the giveaway book, but that's how I did it, just so that I could, like, I guess I was just like, I'm gonna see how I can fit them onto the fabric,
Right.
and then I'll just glue them down and cut them out as much as I can, and then fold them over. I don't know
Okay.
why.
Well, I'm thinking since I'm going to have to do clamping and all that stuff because of the yes paste, I might go ahead and cut my fabric so I can do them one at a time.
Yeah, just make sure you leave enough space between them.
Okay. I'm going to go right through here. This leather came from a leather jacket that I harvested it off of. Where did this fabric come from? Obviously, it was a shirt or a skirt or something.
I think it's a curtain, actually, because the whole thing is hemmed all the way around.
Okay. Well, that's
I have
cool.
no idea. It's in that box of fabric I have. I dragged it out because I took it upon myself to make a quilt, and I was like, that looks big enough to get some pieces out of, and then I found a nice pastel scheme, and
Went with
this
it.
is not pastel.
No, it's not, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, a question for you. If I go to this corner right here, no, I'll go over here. That way I have plenty of room to cut it however I need to cut it. Never mind. No question. Okay.
And I'm not trying to get this too terribly tight down around the edges because I'm going to glue it down over here. And I think I'm going to have more time when I make the flaps over here.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I got enough glue to make this stick down because I've only ever made the covers with tacky glue or yes paste before. I don't know if it dried too fast. It seems to be doing fine. But the corners are coming up, and I'm trying not to worry about that.
Yeah, I was going to say that one definitely is. Let's just throw a little glue under there again.
Yeah. Mostly worried about the middle, but that's where I put most of the glue. So
yeah.
Really
okay, so I'll put my glue right onto this and then turn it over. You think that works? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move that, and I'm going to get me something to... Oh. Now, because that soaks into the fabric, you probably need a little bit more than you would need with paper. You wouldn't need very much at all, but... I think that's good, probably.
I don't know. It felt like half of it was drying when I went to spread it around last time.
Yeah.
I think I managed to make the string come out thicker this time, so I only really had to go over it once instead of twice.
Yeah. Maybe putting too much yes paste on here. I don't know how to do that very well.
Well, you're going to want it around the edges anyway for when you flip it over,
Yeah.
so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. You probably aren't, just because I've used a whole lot before.
Yeah. Well, I figure since it's leather, it can handle more than regular fabric could.
Yeah.
More than paper could. Okay. Get that out of the way. It's just going to be a mess. This way.
Should I wait till you're done to get to this step?
No, go ahead. They can watch what you're doing, and she's just cutting around her fabric now. so that she can, so you cut like an inch or so all the way around
if you
to start with.
can. Like if your piece is smaller than that,
Yeah,
you probably want about half an inch, depending on how thick it is. Like if this is pretty thin leather, if you're working with something thicker, you'll want at least an inch just so you can bend it over real well.
right.
You know, that's just my experience.
So you can always cut off more,
Yes.
but you can't cut off less. So it's better to give it extra to begin with, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, paste gets really on your hands.
Oh, right. It'll get all over those boards too,
Yeah.
and you can't keep anything clean.
Well, luckily we'll be covering it up, so it doesn't matter if it gets all over the board, right?
Yes.
Please tell me I'm right.
Well, everything you said is true, and it doesn't matter if you have a nice workspace that you can get glue all over. My desk isn't like that.
That's true. That's
So
true.
most of my frustration is like I need to save my poor desktop.
Yeah, and now here I don't have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Except I just accidentally got some on there.
Oh, that is the other big problem.
Yeah, I don't want that because I don't want to get the yes paste on the... Okay. I'm going to set it over here.
I should have warned you about that. That was the problem I was actually thinking of.
Yeah, that's okay.
I didn't realize until I did that.
Well, I've used yes paste before. I should have thought of it, but...
Yes, be careful not to get glue on the showing side of your cover if you can avoid it, as we have learned.
As we have learned. Learn from us, not on your own. Okay. All right. Now then. Not doing a very good job of making it even.
It's okay. That's what we have end papers for.
There you go. Okay. Well, there's one. So I'll just set it over there while I do the second one this way. You think that's better? And then...
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Unless you haven't got the cover material stretched tight. If you want it stretched really tight, you might want to do the flaps then so that you can pull it tight while you're gluing them. But yours is done pretty well, so that's probably not going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think it looks fine. I don't
And
want to stretch
if
it.
If it's dried a bit, it won't move around as much while you're trying to do the flaps.
Good idea. All right, I'm just going to bring this over here because we might want it again.
As we have learned.
Yeah. Learn as we go.
Not quite as worried about that with the fabric because it seeps through it anyway.
Yeah.
You know? So I guess that's one plus for fabric.
How does that feel? Well, it doesn't seep through too much.
Yeah, unless you're using yes paste, which makes fabric pretty hard. Unless it's pretty thick, this stuff isn't so bad. I covered this one with yes paste.
Okay. Well, I wondered if yes paste might be more than you needed for that fabric that you got.
Yeah, but if we were using like some of the upholstery fabric we got pieces of,
yeah,
you'd probably want it for that just because that stuff's so heavy.
True. And I thought about using that actually, but then I decided to, and I might change my mind before we do our one at the in August. And I really should have. Tanya and I talked about what dates. I think we talked about what dates we were going to do it in August.
7th and 20 something.
Oh. Okay. See, you're better than me because I totally forgot.
Which is weird knowing me in dates.
Which means you could be wrong. So maybe.
Yeah. I think the 7th was one though.
Okay.
I don't know though. You'll have to consult these things.
Yeah.
Consult your calendar. You have one of those, right?
Yeah, and I had it out here too, but I think when I was cleaning stuff up out here, I ended up somehow losing the calendar that I had out here. So that's not good.
That's what happens when you clean. You don't lose everything.
Another reason not to clean. Okay.
And, when I glue these flaps down, I'm going to go around and do them side by side. So I'll make sure each one is glued down tight and good before I move to the next.
Okay.
Instead of like tacking them all down and then checking them all.
Yeah. What do you do with the corners?
You try to fold the corners in if you can. If you can't, you see I cut out my corners here.
Yeah.
Which is probably for the best, as long as you know you have enough to cover the actual tip.
Right.
And have you had to come up with a formula for that? Unless you just want to cut corners to put on top of it.
Yeah.
You can always cut corners out later, unless you're also working in leather still.
Right.
Like,
well,
sorry, Mom.
It's okay. Well, this corner, you know, is a regular 90-degree angle corner, and you could cut it kind of like you do just straight across, like when you're doing paper. But these corners are sharper, so they'll have to be done probably by trial and error for me, anyway.
Yeah. This is apparently how I did the corners on this book.
Okay.
I folded them over and then I cut them after I glued them down. That's how I did it.
Okay. I think you did that on the leather one that you made for the giveaway, too.
Probably.
Because I remember you going back and recutting them.
That's how I made the corners on my stars for the quilt.
Yeah. Hannah and I found an old quilt at
thrift store.
It was at a thrift store, but it was at a thrift store garage sale, believe it or not. And they sold it for what, 50 cents?
Or $1, something like that.
Something like that. But some of the pieces were rotting, and so she's been covering it up with stars, all those rotting pieces. It's really looking cute, but it's going to be completely covered in stars before long, probably. I'll bring it out and we'll show it to you sometime. Okay. Now then, I've got, okay, this is the one I think I can go straight across with this one. So I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Is that probably a little too much to leave?
Probably not.
Is. No?
Just,
okay.
Well, just take it in. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know, if you find that weird little lip thing unattractive, then yeah, it's probably a bit too much to leave. But I don't know.
I left a little bit more on that one than I did on this one. Let me see. So this is what it's looking like now. Okay, keep going. Sorry. Okay, now when you did this, I can see this, if I do this where it's bent, well, even if I don't, it's definitely going to need to be clamped. What kind of clamps did you use?
Binder clamps, the black things.
The black things, okay.
Black things, they're very reliable. They don't really move unless you make them.
Yeah. Okay.
So flighty up here, but I'm going to try not to be too terribly concerned about that since I'm going to put in pages on.
Right.
Once I cut off the corners properly.
I'm using these from Dollar Tree, these jot binder clips, so I have some somewhere, but I found this package of them while I was cleaning my stuff up, so I might as well use them. Oh, trash needs to go out. Okay. Do you think it's better to start with these sides or this one?
Funny, I've always just worked like counterclockwise, not for any particular reason, but like I start a side, I move to the next one counterclockwise, and I don't know.
Okay.
You can tell I'm not a very method person.
Your method is just to go with whatever looks good, huh? Now let's see if I messed that up. No, I'll have to cut off some more, but that's okay.
You can always cut off more.
That's true.
You can't cut off, like, you can't add more.
Right.
Once they cut off less, but that was about as much as, that means the same thing as cut off more. You know.
Okay.
See, that's what my corners look like right now. I'm gonna cut right there and there.
Okay.
Make
So
it.
you'll just trim it
Mhm,
so that
like,
it's underneath there.
Probably. I think I have enough for that.
Alrighty.
So I'm gonna let that dry now.
Okay. Now then, I'm gonna need to use Yes Paste right here, aren't I?
Mhm.
Okay.
And your hands are gonna get very messy.
Yeah, I'm thinking on that. There's got to be a way to do it that's a little less messy.
Well, you may need 2 sets of hands too. I've wanted to several times.
Well,
So,
luckily, I
if
have
you
an extra
need me,
set.
I'm right here.
An extra set right here beside me. Okay, we're going to start with this side, and I'm going to use this thing to put my Yes Paste on with.
Yeah. I've used a palette knife before.
Yeah, well, that's what I started to get.
Is that's what I use for Yes Paste most of the time.
But this was sitting right there, easier to find. So that's what I did.
As long as you don't mind never using it for anything else.
That's true. Okay. Okay. I should have got these ready to use instead of.
Do you want to hold it down while I clamp?
Don't you think it needs to be actually on?
Yeah, you're probably gonna want to clamp closer down.
Okay, should I do one in the middle too?
Probably if you can.
Let me see if I can find a smaller one. Okay.
Like, use as many of them as you can fit so that you don't get any bumps.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go on to this side. Trim that a little bit more. You can kind of do it as you go. I mean, see where it needs to be trimmed. That's good. At least for me, it's good because. Okay.
And when you finally get to the back side, if you're working in fabric, this bit right here is gonna peel up a bit.
Uh-huh.
And you just need know that it's not a problem, but it will do that. So you might want to push out this way when you're flattening it on this side.
Okay.
Before pushing up on this side.
Okay. And after we've got this all covered, then we've kind of done all we can do for right now, right? Okay. I guess that's one of the nice things about fabric rather than leather is that you don't have to worry with this.
Yeah, but it's not leather.
That's true. It's not leather.
You probably want to glue down the other two side flaps on that one before you try and move to do the back one, just because it's got
Because of
right
that.
here.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. See, this is why you're here. So you can help me make good decisions. Because you have experience. You've made 4 of them, 3 of them.
Technically I made 3 of these, but I guess I glued down more journal covers than that.
Yeah.
Like, I like case bound books.
Right. So you do.
So I've done this a few times. But also, funnily enough, since I've made all of these in my room, now here, I
Right.
just had the windows open and left them sitting down under them to dry off faster. I don't know if it actually worked, but it probably kept the glue from stinking up.
Made you feel better, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Especially since I was trying to get these finished in one day.
Yeah.
That's probably not the best choice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially if you're doing leather, you need dry time. So when we do our hangout, we'll definitely do 2 hangouts. In one of them we can get this much done, and then we can go ahead and do paper.
Yeah, we can fold them. We can fold all the signatures.
Right.
In that hangout. I suppose we could technically do this on this video too.
Well, we will. We're just going to pause for a minute while we're waiting. So
this is
yeah. In a video, it's you can pause and then go start again, and that's the nice thing about videos compared to live something is that you can wait and finish it later.
Video time is malleable.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like magic TV time. Okay. I don't have enough of those things. I guess on the other one I'll have to use the big fat ones. But
I think 2 of them big fat ones will cover the same space as 3 medium-ish ones.
Probably. It does help to lay down the clamp part on that side. Just in case anybody out there is interested. And I didn't do it on that one. And it makes a big difference on how flat they lay. Okay, we don't need this right now, do we? Well, I might, actually. Let's see. Yeah, I need to trim that a little bit. Okay. All right. Now, I'm sure there are people out there watching this that have used Yes Paste quite a bit, and you could probably tell me an easier or better way to do this, but you're not here, so I'm doing it this way. You all right?
There's a pink speck on it.
Oh no, you can't have any pink on it.
No, we can't. There's brick red in there. Pink doesn't go with brick red.
It might. Especially if you're not really a pink person like Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. All right, now then, just scoot this down a little bit. Okay. I think that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you think this one, oh, that looks good. Doesn't that look nice? So she's got both of her covers pretty much ready to go. So, cut it just a little bit too sharp there. We're gonna make it okay. That one's gonna be the one that doesn't look good.
There's always one. I think there may be more than one. Like, just look at the corners of this thing.
Yeah, that was your first try. Okay, you think these have set long enough I can take them off to do this, or?
Is this your first
Yes.
cover? You might check it. That's a nice thing about Yes Paste. It does, like, fix itself pretty quickly. Yeah, if you're going to put the clamp back on it at the end.
I'll just do this side first and put the clamp back on it, and then move down.
And then work your way down. Yeah, that will probably work.
Ooh, that's way too much.
Just scrape that up onto the board.
Excuse me. Okay. May have made that too big.
Need a hand?
I don't know. I think if I can get it.
Go get one of the big clamps.
Okay. Okay. Now getting this in here to.
This is why I miss about stretching.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that's good enough, or do you think we should put 2?
Well, we've only got 3 of these.
Well, put it there. I'll find some more clamps for the other one. I think there's a drawer in that little thing up there. See, it's got the green thing in front of it. Yeah, there's a drawer in there, and I think there's some more clamps in that drawer.
Talking about that.
Unless I moved them somewhere else. Okay, we're about to get this part done. Thank you. Okay. Now then, let me first check the corners here. Let's see. Okay. Now I'm gonna spread the stuff first, and then I'll take those off.
You want to keep these?
I don't know.
Okay.
If there's a piece that looks big enough to do a little something with, we might keep it, but the other ones can go. What?
Nothing. Well, kind of nothing.
Okay, you can put the lid on that for me. I'll clean this off as best I can.
The thing that can't spill.
Yeah, it is.
I'm like, it can't spill. It's probably thicker than, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. I put way too much yes paste. It's coming out the
Oh.
stitches. Okay. There is such a thing as too much yes paste.
I got it on crooked. And it won't move.
Oh, well, just a second. Let me get this done first. Okay, I knew you didn't need that much yes paste, but
It's just so tempting.
it is to make sure you get enough.
I probably just need to clean this rim of this thing before I close it.
Okay. This one right in the middle.
Things
And then I'll put,
the itty bitty ones.
yeah, use two little ones here.
They really aren't that itty bitty. They're
No.
smaller ones, but next to those giant monster clams, they look itty bitty.
Yeah. Let's put this one back over here. Put this one back over here.
So I was thinking when I was digging around over there, I might want to put leather corners on the tips of this book.
That'd be good.
It'd be part of the cover though, so I don't know. Like, I guess I can throw it part of the cover if it isn't in the pages and it goes down before the end pages.
Yeah. Can you find me one more for those little clamps? I have such a talented daughter. She can hold a book on her head. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's bring it up here. She's thinking about doing on all three corners?
No.
Just the tip?
Well, maybe on all three. That would be cute too.
She's thinking about adding a piece of leather like that. And possibly here. Not that big probably though.
No.
And
I think
here.
I like it better just on the front ones.
I think I do too.
Do you think it'd look good though?
I do think it would look nice. We might see if a different color maybe would look better. I don't know.
No, I think I like this one.
Okay, well then do use it.
And then it kind of ties into your book, and we're making them together.
That's
It's
right.
Special.
Make them special. Okay, when these are dry, we'll come back and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, while our covers are drying, we're going to go ahead and cut papers for inside. And Hannah's going to use some mixed media paper. Oh no, this is just sketchbook paper.
Yep.
Hannah's going to use sketchbook paper inside hers. And I'm going to use some painty papers, but not finished ones, so that I can doodle in it. That's what I'm going to do in this book, is doodle on the painty papers. So now the end papers, do we make those exactly 6 by 6 too, just like the rest of them?
Yes.
Okay.
They're not going to match up perfectly anyway, because they're going to go down the crease a bit. They'll be unnoticeable. You glue the end paper to the, where's the little one? The little book.
Right up there. I'm sorry, I stuck it back in there.
Back again. See them up.
Put it over here.
Sorry.
It's okay.
We're going to glue them like that. possibly not that high.
Okay, so you're
But they're
gluing
gonna-
it down on this and then part way down on
partway to that, just so we don't have these warpy, very thick papers.
Okay.
And you don't need to glue it down. Maybe a 1/4 of an inch would be fine, probably, depending on what you're using. I was using Mod Podge. I was using Yes Paste, actually, so I probably could have done a 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
But I have this obsessive need to glue as much as possible.
Okay, so with the glitter glue, we probably could do like a 1/3 of an inch, maybe.
Yeah, that would probably work fine.
Okay.
So we want them to be cut the same because they're going to lay right over the other papers.
Okay. Well, these are the 2 pieces that I'm going to use for my end papers. There's this one and this one. So I'm going to start out by cutting off the borders because I want print all the way around.
I'm trying to push that up. It'll go right there.
Okay. Now then, I'm gonna. Okay, let's go ahead and do this like this. We're going exactly 6 inches, right, for our papers.
It should be a square.
Okay, so a 6-inch square. That's what we're looking for. Perfect. Okay, you can stick yours right there.
Okay. I've got my trash paper over here in case we ever want to do anything with it.
Well, we might. You never know. Yeah. We might stamp on it and have some extra stuff just sitting around to use. I'm going to put my trash papers over here so that I can, use those for collage or whatever. We're not going to waste those.
Paper isn't trash, it's cabbage.
There
is trash.
Cabbage.
It's a term for sewing fabric that's left over.
Okay.
Unless it's really thin, and then some people call it coleslaw.
One thing that, one reason I'm using these for end papers and not in the book is because they have stuff on the back of them that I don't want to show. Oh, well, this will show some though, won't it? But not bad. This one I can
glue them down all the way.
Yeah, well, I'll decide that at the time. But anyway.
Yes, let's cross that bridge when we come to it.
That's right.
I mean, that's the only time you actually can cross a bridge, so.
And I'm going to use these that are on cardstock for my signature covers. So I'm going to do the same thing here.
I'm not doing signature covers.
You're just making your signatures all the same paper.
Yeah. Just so you know.
Yeah. I assumed that.
Well, more it was like we're on the video and we were doing my process, apparently. I have a process and I just would say, that's your thing. The signature covers are.
That's true. Signature covers are my thing. Not Hannah's thing. And I didn't get that one cut straight, so we're going to do it again. Alright, so now I'm trying to do it where I have as few cuts as possible. So there's my extra. And there's my signature cover. Ooh, isn't that going to be pretty?
Yes, give me a second. Let me see. 3.
Sorry.
Should I count out a number of pages or should I just cut this all out and put them into as many signatures of 4 as I can?
I thought you were going to do 5. You're just going to do 4?
Into as many signatures as I can.
Yes, just do
signatures.
Just cut them all out and then.
It's signatures. They're just signatures. I actually am going to do 5 because this stuff is really thin. If you can see how thin paper is on the camera. I don't know why I bothered trying to show you.
I think forgot what I was going to say. Oh, the only bad thing about a 6x6 size is that if you've got 8.5 size sheets of paper, it wastes quite a bit. So you'll have to save some of it, to do something else with some of it.
I mean, you can make 8x8, which would be very cool. I want to try that sometime. I made, I think, an 8x8 for my first one.
Yeah.
But it's just not thick enough. Like, I want to make tomes.
I want to make tomes, not just a journal.
Books are better the thicker they are.
Well, I sometimes agree with that. I sure do. Every time I cut one of these, I think I've cut it the wrong size. So I'm just going to go back and check, and they're all the same so far, so I'm doing okay. I keep thinking, did I cut that wrong? Now my jelly prints are crooked, so I'm sometimes having to cut off more in order to make it straight, but that's okay. All right, let's go this way. I'm gonna have lots of good scraps left over to use for something. And these that are going to be my signature covers are, it's thick enough paper I could make pockets for a journal or something out of it. But oh, you having trouble?
No, I just don't want to have any.
Okay. I don't want you to have any, so.
What?
Well, I keep trying to figure out how to do it with less cuts, and that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Okay, I think you've watched us cut enough paper. We're going to continue cutting paper, but we'll come back and show you once we get it all done. Okay, we're back with our covers covered. Here's mine, and here's Hannah's. And we're going to put these aside for right now. I just wanted to show them to you. We're going to start by folding our pages, all our pages that are going to go inside to make our signatures, and except for the end pages. Those don't need to be folded, right? Or do they?
They need to be folded in the end.
In the end.
They don't need to be folded right now. I don't even have mine.
Well, I don't want to get them confused with these, so I'm not going to worry about them right now.
Okay. Then just leave them with the cover. You don't need, there are more if you want to put closures in it or something step, that's when you need to think about the end pages more.
Okay.
Then
it's the very last thing you do, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, you glue it in at the very end.
Okay. Now you all know how to fold papers and make a signature. We're gonna do that, but I have a question, Hannah.
Yes.
I had planned to make this my outside. I still think I want to. I think it'd be pretty to look through the binding and see that.
Oh, it'll be pretty. That just wasn't what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Like, for some reason, I thought, I was more like, the paper she used for the jelly plate for those was brown. Like, that was the thing in my head. So I'm like, it's brown paper.
Oh, I do use it on the edge. I thought I did that. I don't. Okay. If you have a bone folder, that's great. If you don't, I also have used the edge of the scissors, but you don't want the ones that are soft rubber right here. They don't slide good enough. The hard rubber ones will, though, or hard plastic. It's funny how this does not look like it's going to be that big of a square. When you look at, that big of a triangle. Excuse me. It's an optical illusion, I'm certain. But
well, the diagonal is always the longest side of any shape. The technically it's called the hypotenuse in this. I'm taking geometry.
Okay.
I actually remembered some of this.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you remember some. It's just that when you look at it as a square, it does not look that big.
Then there's this VeggieTale song where they sing Martin Luther Jr. and hypotenuse was featured in that. So
That's true.
I didn't know what it was until I did geometry. But I knew the word, and it's a fun word.
I had forgotten about that song. Okay. This is we're just doing 5-page signatures or 5 paper signatures. And I had all mine going like that. I think I'm going to turn this one the other way so that the center is
Pretty.
pretty. Yes.
The
Like
center
that.
must be pretty.
The center must be pretty. Okay. These are not real thick signatures. And I think I like that. So, okay. Is this, I want to see how thick your signature is. So I'm gonna help you out, whether you want to be helped out or not. Yeah.
It's not terribly thick either.
No, it's actually a little bit thinner, and that makes sense because I have painting stuff on mine. Okay,
Yes.
we're not gonna bore you by going through and continuing to do all of this while we're on the video. So we're gonna pause and get these all ready, and then we'll show you how to put it all together. Okay, we've got all our signatures folded, and we went ahead and marked the first signature of each book, and mine you can't see as good. Well, you kind of can. I marked it with a white chalk pencil because it was dark. She marked hers with a regular pencil so you can see it better. But what we did was come in 3/4 of an inch from each side, and then a 1/2 inch 3 more times. So we've got 4 marks, 1 3/4 of an inch in, and then another 1/2 inch, another 1/2 inch, another 1/2 inch. And that's all we've done so far is mark the top signature or the first signature. And now we're gonna, she's gonna show me how to mark the rest of them. Okay. So do I need some of those too?
Well, I've never done this before this way, because apparently I come up with good ideas. It's the most useless of times. Okay, this is a good time.
I think this is a great time to have a good idea. And that's a great idea, I think. Okay, so now we've done this, so we hold everything together. That was really smart, Hannah.
There, that way we can draw all our binding holes without anything slipping.
All right, you don't have to yell.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Frustrated because this is the first time I ever thought of it. I'm like,
how many times should I have thought of this in the past? Okay, so now we're just going to kind of run the like that.
yeah, like this.
Okay, now we're just running a
Do you want
a line all the way down like that. Very good.
These are going to be the most evenly spaced binding holes I've ever had. So frustrating.
That's okay. See, sometimes you learn stuff by teaching other people. That is a real thing. I learned a lot of grammar and things like that just teaching you and Ethan. So, okay.
There, we have all our binding holes.
Yay, very nice. It was so easy.
I can't believe I never thought of that. Okay, don't forget to clamp your signatures together to hold them in place. Makes everything much simpler.
Everything much simpler.
Oh, and we need to mark them at the top.
Oh, yeah. We need to do that on all of them, though, don't we?
Yeah, but
So we need
that's not really a problem now because we have all the holes. We have all the marks. Like, if we punch holes in these marks and then stitch them together, they'll line up. You know.
So now we're just making little arrows showing where the top is. And this chalk pencil is really, I'm glad you thought of that.
Well, it's not even necessarily just for the top, but just to make sure that sometimes when you're punching binding holes, even if you're going for a symmetrical thing, if you get one of your signatures flipped over, it just won't line up. So this is just to make sure they're all facing the same way as when we drew
Whether
the
it's the
holes.
top or the bottom, it
Yeah,
doesn't
it doesn't
matter.
matter.
Okay.
It's just to orient them all. This is how we drew the holes on them.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Done that.
Oh, they're so pretty.
So now what?
Oh,
So now we're going to punch holes in all of them?
yep.
All right.
Okay, you're going to want to center it again. Then you just spread her out.
Okay.
This. Can everybody see? Can you see? I'm going to see.
Yeah, they can see. As long as you stay on the pink thing, they can see what you're doing.
Oh, yay.
Okay.
You want to press right on the fold. Try to go down as straight as you can, but if you come out at an angle, we're going to flip it over and make the holes bigger from the other side too.
Okay.
Just because you can't go very deep on this board.
True.
So we're going to have to enlarge the holes a bit.
That's where our phone book would have been handier.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I'm even going all the way through. Barely. Okay.
But this is why we have these mats that we can murder with our holes.
Yeah.
So that we can push down really hard.
Yeah, and I'm not, to be honest, I'm not worried about my mat. I'm worried about if I'm hurting my awl.
Yeah.
Of course, the awl is cheaper to replace than a mat, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not worried about that, but mine's a bit stockier. Would you say stocky?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure kind of that I've got the pages lined back up. See, I came out on the side of the fold every time.
I did too on
But
that one.
that's fine. Because it's really just kind of a guide. Okay, now we're gonna just punch our holes back through. We should come back out to the same hole. Give me a second, let me see if I'm doing this right. Should not.
Okay. All right. Now, would it be good to clamp? I know when I do normal signatures, I clamp them like this for to sew them. Would
Sure.
is that helpful in this situation, or does it matter?
Well, it could be. Those clamps are really big. Probably gonna want to take some of the tinier ones.
Okay.
Like,
Let me see if I can find a tiny one. Okay. By the way, that drawer comes out. I forgot to tell you that when you were digging for him yesterday. Sorry. Okay.
that won't be nearly as funny if you can't see my expression.
Yeah, it's true. It was funny to me. She had a funny expression on her face. Shame y'all couldn't see it.
Probably kind of like a confused deer.
A confused deer. There you go. Okay, let me make sure these holes are still.
Where they're supposed to be. You can always find them with the needle again when you go through them.
Yeah. But I can see through them, so I know they're pretty good, at least. Well, I say that, but these.
Ooh, that's big. That won't be a problem though. Okay.
Okay.
I need to find some old clamps.
Here's some right here.
Okay.
All right. Now then, do we need to punch holes in all our signatures?
That's what I've always done.
Okay. So we're going to need a bunch of clamps, aren't we? We don't have a bunch. of little ones anyway.
And this is what I meant when I said we need to do this. We're going to flip it over so that once we've assembled our whole stack, the signature that was on top when we drew the lines will be on the bottom but flipped over, so we can flip it back over and we'll have the stack exactly like we drew the lines.
Okay.
I don't know if it helps, but that's what they said to do.
That's what they said to do. Okay. Okay. We are going to go through and punch all our holes, not in the book board, but just in the signatures, and then we'll be back. Okay, we've got all our holes punched, and now we're going to start binding. And when we laid them all down, going a certain one direction, so that hopefully that will help us when we're transferring them over here. If I can remember which, okay.
And I've been flipping my stack in this weird way, where it's like I stacked them all one way when I drew the holes, and then I flipped them over. See, that's the first one.
Yeah.
That's the top one. And then I flipped them over, punching the holes to keep them in order. I don't know if it's important, though. Are we going to put the video that I learned this from? Are we going to link that?
I thought you didn't learn it from a video. I thought you just
No,
saw
I
it
didn't
on
learn
Pinterest.
the book from a video.
Oh, the
I
Coptic
learned
binding?
the Coptic binding the exact way we're doing it here.
Yes. If you know what video that is, we will find it and link it.
I know exactly which video it is because I've consulted it like 4 times.
Okay. We will link the Coptic binding video below.
And they explain the flipping your signatures thing for them to keep them in order.
Okay.
And we're being lazy. So we're just marking the holes as we need our covers because you need them to bind the text block. And we just kind of centered our covers with the little bit of lip and about flush with the back. And then we're just going to draw lines straight down from our binding holes. And we'll...
Maybe not with that.
Okay, I'll find something else. You got a paint pen? My cover's very dark. I need something opaque and light.
Yeah, let's see.
One of those Posca pens. Even
a Posca pen. There you go. Okay.
It probably isn't sure how you should do it.
You probably shouldn't talk with a pen in your mouth.
Probably shouldn't do that either.
Okay, just go straight down from your holes. I know we're, I'll hold it up and show you. In order for you to see both of us, the camera's kind of far away, but okay, let me, I could have zoomed in while we're doing this part. Maybe you can see better.
I missed one.
I'm just going from the hole straight down like this. Okay. I'm trying to make sure that I do it right. Because it's bad to mess up. It's even worse to mess up on video. Okay. So once we've got that, then what do we do? Wait for your Posca pen to dry.
Don't use paint pens. That's what you do. My fabric is absorbing the paint, so I've had to go over it 3 times.
Can you see it now?
No. Like, kind of. Okay, that's gonna be good enough. I know where this is going. Okay.
Okay.
Putting that back where it goes.
I'm going to go back down.
Okay.
So you can see. Whoops. Yeah. She's still marking. Okay, so here. I don't know that it'll be any better. Try that one. Is that helping? We're having technical difficulties. We're going to pause the video until we figure this out. When you use dark fabric, it absorbs your pencil marks, even if you use Posca pen. Hold on just a minute.
Now?
Okay, we're back now. She has some vague spots now done with a gold, what is that? A Signo pen. So now we move our signature out of the way, and then what are we going to do?
We're going to mark the location of the binding holes.
Okay.
There, and put them on the spot again.
So we're measuring like
a quarter, a half, 3/4, and an inch.
A quarter, a half, 3/4, and an inch. Okay. So we're doing a quarter right here. And then
I'm punching my holes right now while I can still see the spots.
Oh, I didn't do a quarter. Okay, start over, Lisa. Yeah, this one is weird, isn't it? It doesn't have, oh, on that side it has 1/4 inches. Okay. So when it doesn't have 1/4 inches. All right. Okay, there's a 1/4 inch right there.
No.
And then maybe I need to, a 1/2 inch. See if that looks right. And 3/4 of an inch. And then 1 inch. Okay, I'm going to show you with mine because hers is even harder to see. I don't know if you can see those dots, but we've got a dot here and here and here and here. And that's where we're going to put our holes. They're going to be staggered by a 1/2 inch, I mean a 1/4 inch apart. No.
They grow a 1/4 inch, they're 1/2 inch apart.
Okay, they're 1/2 inch apart, but they go longer by a 1/4 inch at a time. Increase by a 1/4 inch at a time. Okay. And so then on this side, we start with 1 inch and work our way back down.
Actually, I just worked up from the 1/4 inch again.
Well, that's probably smart, but. And a 1/2 inch right there. And a 1/4 inch down here. Okay, you'll be able to see better where the marks are when we actually punch the holes. Okay, so do you punch straight down from here and then go back from the other side like you did the signatures?
Yeah, that's what
okay.
I'm doing. Mine are being a bit larger than they necessarily need to be, maybe. I don't know. Can you see how big they are? Is that possible?
I put it.
You can't.
No,
but
you
I
can't
need to be
see.
able to find them, so.
Okay, I zoomed in so you can see me punching holes. We can't see on her fabric. We weren't thinking when we did that. Oh, I went through. Okay, it's a little easier to go through than you think it's going to be, and I went way through that first one. And I told him we used generous 12 lengths of thread, right?
Yeah, I think we discussed it anyway.
Okay.
We discussed telling them. I don't know if we told them.
One reason we used 12 lengths, because we have 6 signatures, is because we're going to double our threads. Because this is not a very thick thread, and we just like the look of it doubled. So we're going to do that. Okay, I don't know if you can see those holes. I can't see them from the other side, so I'm going to have to...
Punch your
Oh, maybe I
them
can.
then...
There's that one. Okay, now I don't know if you can see that, but there they are from that side. This side is a little harder for me to see. That one I didn't go through enough. Okay. Okay. Now I've got them on both sides, and I've got my signature here. So she's going to tell me what to do, and I'm going to try to show you on a zoomed in camera because I don't know how else to do. I don't think that's the easiest way I can think of.
So we're going to insert the signature.
Okay. Does it matter which end?
No.
Okay.
I'm just working this way because that's the...
We're going to...
Well, we're going to work from both directions in the end because you bind
back
one
and forth?
signature. One, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now you enter through the signature and pull all the way up to the knot inside.
Okay. Go in through the signature, pull all the way to the knot. This is not waxed thread, and one reason we used not waxed thread is because we have such a long length to pull. Okay.
Now you're gonna go. I think this is how you do it. No, go down
through the first hole.
Yes, you need to go like this. See, so I
okay.
Put it out,
So we're gonna go
top.
Like that.
Yes.
Okay, we're going down through from the back of the book.
I think I'm doing it correctly. I hope I am. The video we linked may not tell you to do it this way. Follow the video. Okay? Don't follow Hannah. No, don't. She doesn't know what she's doing.
Okay, now when we do this, our links are going to be far away from the edge. So you just have to make it stay on the edge, right?
Okay, we're going to bring it up, around, through the cover, I think. Give me a second. And
okay, we're going to pause and watch the video and come back and be sure we're doing it right. Because I don't want to do it wrong on the video and then have to undo it. Okay. We did go in backwards here, so we have to come back out of this.
Don't lotion your hands before you do this. You need them not slicky.
That is probably good advice, Hannah.
And that one the hard way too.
Okay, so we've got this, and we're going to go in from this side.
You're not showing them.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to go in from this side instead of from the side that we did before. Okay. Okay, fumble fingers. I've never copied stitched before, so. Okay, so you can see that I've got my stitch there, and am I on the wrong side?
Yes.
All right.
You want to be on the outside?
We want to be on the outside, so I'm just gonna pull it under here.
Don't worry, this headache doesn't continue through the whole binding process. It gets really simple after this.
Uh-oh. I went actually through the thread, and that does not work. Okay. I'm gonna get it one of these days.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're outside.
We're going to take the needle, and this is one of the reasons you want a curved needle if you can get it. It's not going to be as fun for the top covers, but it's really not that much of a hassle. And we're just going to go around that one more time.
Like this?
Yeah, we're just going to wrap around it once,
Okay.
and then return into the signature.
Except don't get it caught on the edge.
Yeah, so like that. Can you see that? So we're going to wrap around it and go back in through this hole.
Okay, so am I wrapping around again to go back into the hole? Or
no, you're going to just go into the hole on this side.
We're not going through this hole. We're going through that hole.
No, we're going in through the same hole we came out of.
Okay.
But we're going to go in through it, try to get on this side of the yarn.
Thread. Okay. Okay, we're going to try to go in on this side. Making it where you can see it and where I can see it both is not as easy as I would like for it to be. Okay. And then we want to pull it tight, right?
Yes, pull it tight.
Okay, and when we're stitching this, we need to pull it tight every time we do a stitch.
Yes.
All the way through. Okay. All right, now it looks like that, and it's inside the book. So then, what do I do?
Now, give me a second.
All right.
Because mine is not tight on one account. Something is not right here.
Pull. Oh, never mind. Do you need some help with your slicky hands? Do you need a non-slicky hand?
No, I'm fine now.
Okay.
What is your problem?
Did you go through in the middle of the thread?
No.
Okay, because I've done that before, and then it messes it up.
I don't think I did. It shouldn't be a problem at this point. If I can figure out why I can't pull it tight.
Technical difficulties, folks.
It's like the minute you try to show anyone anything you've done, it doesn't work well. Ah, there we go. That did not work right. That's bad. Okay.
Okay, we're going to pause the video again and let her catch back up. And let's show them what you did.
No, don't show them what I did.
She pulled the knot through.
I don't even know how I did that.
I don't know how you did it either, but we're going to fix it. We'll be right back. Okay, what happened was her knot wasn't big enough, and so the knot pulled through her paper, and then it was not where it was supposed to be. So she made a huge knot this time.
No. Do you return it to the other side or not? I know when you're doing kettle stitch you do, because you're making a keystone book. Would you?
Okay, are you thinking to yourself? Because if you're talking, you need to talk loud enough everybody can hear you.
I'm thinking.
She's just thinking out loud. Okay.
Hand me that book. We're just gonna leave it in.
Okay. So, you're going to get to this point.
Then we'll.
And then we're going to move on to the second hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are we going to come out of the second hole and then in from here like we did the first time? Okay, let me go ahead and do that. You can talk me through it even if you're not in the same spot I'm in.
We're just going to repeat the process over again. Try to come out on the right side of the stitch that goes down into the hole.
Okay. So now then
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come in this way. And I want my, this is where that curved needle's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Except it's still not wanting to.
The curved needle's not for this. A straight needle would work easier.
Oh,
On the
okay.
cover
Well, I was thinking
the
that
curved needle is for the next step.
the next step. Okay.
After we get the bottom cover on.
Okay. Now I've come out of the book and I'm on the right side of my thread. And I'm going to pull it up to the edge and pull it snug. My other one's not tight now. Okay.
Don't worry, they'll tighten a bit. If they're a touch loose, they'll tighten when we get to the next. Do try to keep them snug, but they will tighten when we do the next signature.
Okay. So now I'm going to go
around once.
Around once. And then back into the signature.
Yes.
And I'm trying to stay on this side, right?
You're trying to go back in through that side, yes.
Through this side. Okay, I need to open up my book, I think, here.
Yeah, just pull it open like this. No, wait, you need to open up your signature for that, sorry.
It's okay. And then I go to the next one, do the same thing, right?
Yep.
Okay. And you don't absolutely have to use a thread that's long enough to bind your whole book. You can tie off in the middle, but we just wanted to do it because this is the way Hannah usually does it. So we wanted to show you how Hannah usually does it.
Actually, I usually have just enough thread to make it to the second to last signature, and then I have to put a new one on because I don't measure enough. I just eyeball it.
Okay.
And then I'm like, I didn't use enough, but I have to drag this whole long thread through most of the book. I should have used enough that I could at least, get to the last signature. That's frustrating.
Okay. So she usually tries to do it this way, and it doesn't work out. So we'll see if we measured long enough or not. Okay, now then, I had to go back through in between here on this side. And I'm trying to keep it pulled tight, which is not that easy to do. Probably, maybe it'll be easier later, but right now it's not that easy. And now I'm going to go around.
It is easier on your second set of holes.
Okay, good. Because this side's locked down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the second signature will tighten up all these stitches.
Okay, good. And now I'm going to go back in back inside here. Okay. And then I'm going to go out the next hole right here. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble keeping it in frame, but I want you to be able to see. Okay, let's not get it tangled up. And then we're going to go up here. I'm going to move the signature away. and go back in through this hole, which is kind of, it's kind of disappeared. The leather, it's amazing how it covers over and you don't see your hole anymore. Okay, get back in there. Okay. So this is kind of what it's looking like right now. And I want to come back out between the signature and the cover on the right side. And line it up. And then we're going to go around and come back out. And then back in on the left side of my string. And then we're going to have a really long stitch inside right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then do the same thing on the other side. Okay. So now we're going to come all the way down here, which I'm going to have to use my wrong hand to do. Come out that hole. So inside it looks like this. There's a long stitch inside. And then I'm going to go up here and find this hole. And I don't want to go, I want to keep my paper separate so that I can come out like this. And I want to go back under here so that I'm coming out between the two. And I'm just talking it every step because it helps me remember it. Oh, and back around. Almost didn't go back around. And back around. And then back in the hole. It's really not that hard once you kind of get your rhythm, but the first few are hard. And then I'm going to go out this hole. And through the hole in my cover. Oops. Okay, and then back between the two. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have enough thread to do. I've already used up like half of it.
No, you haven't.
I haven't. Okay. It feels like I have. It feels like I have. Okay. Pull that snug. I can't remember if that's my go around again. I think it was. Okay. Back into the signature. And out this hole. My thread got. There we go. Okay, and back in through this hole.
And do not return it into the signature on your last hole.
Okay, thank you for telling me because I'm at the next to the last hole.
Okay. You're going to want to do the wraparound and then just leave it.
Okay. So we'll come under here.
Like that. Like that. You're just going to leave it till we move to the next signature, and I'll wait for you.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to have enough thread anyway, so.
It's okay. We'll do that way. We can show them that you can, how much thread it really takes, and that you can add on. So it's no biggie. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to throw my needle at you.
You throwing at me?
Well, I kind of flung it
Oh.
that direction, but no, I wasn't trying to throw it at you.
No, I mean, I just didn't even see it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. Okay.
Well, now no one kill me.
So now I'm out.
Unless you actually do throw your needle at me.
I probably still wouldn't kill you.
Yeah, just make me scream.
Okay, now I'm going to go in or out. No, in, I guess it is, right here. And
yeah,
out there.
And then you loop around it once.
Okay, and then loop around. This looping around part, that's where this curved needle is good.
And that's most of what Coptic binding is.
Is looping around?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Now
wait
we're
a
ready
second.
for the next.
I made them. I'm sorry, I got it all tangled.
That's just what doubling your thread does. Like, one reason you might not want to is that it tangles a lot more when it's doubled. Okay, now we put the next signature.
Okay, next signature.
Set it on top of this one. Line up
This.
your binding holes and open to the middle of the signature.
So line up your holes and open to the center. Okay.
And now we're going to return the thread into the next signature.
Okay.
Like this. Okay, do you want to watch me first?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take it. I'm going to send it in this one. And then we're going to send it out through the next hole.
Okay, let me get that far. Okay. We're going to start by sending it in through this hole. Okay, now I'm inside, and then I go out the next hole?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to go out this hole. My paper's shifted. I'm just going to make a hole because it's not lining up.
That's one of the nice things about working with the needle. Just punch it where you need it.
I'm sorry, it's really...
Maybe your first one shouldn't have been with jelly printed paper.
Maybe it shouldn't have been with jelly printed paper. I agree. Okay. Okay.
That's the only sharp object you could toss across the table.
Okay. So we came, oops, in through the first hole. It would help also if I had my paper open. And now we're going out through the second hole.
Now,
Just a second, I'm still not tied. Okay. Now what am I going to do?
give me a second. I want to tighten up this stitch just a bit more. And now we're going to take the needle.
Just a second. I wonder if I could clamp this like that. If that would
Now
be
we're going
helpful.
to go under our first stitch, doesn't particularly matter where, like this. We're going to go around the first stitch.
On this, in the second hole.
Yes.
I mean, right down here.
We're going around the bottom stitch. The second
Okay.
hole, we'll call it that.
Okay, we're going around this bottom stitch right here that you did with the first signature. But we're doing it in the second hole. Okay.
Then you there?
Yep.
Now you return the thread through the signature.
Uh-oh, just a second. I just tied a knot in my... Did you return through the second hole? Ah! Okay. So now we're going back in.
And come out the third.
So that's all we're doing with that one. Okay. Come on. So it doesn't begin to look braided until you've done a couple.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now you go out the third.
Now we're going to go out the third hole.
Go around the third bottom stitch.
Okay. Around the bottom stitch. So it's always going to be going around the one below the one you're working on.
Yes. This is why your stitches will tighten each time you put the new signature on top.
Okay. And then back in the same hole. Oh. Back in the same hole.
And it basically goes that way till you get to the end of the signature.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you what to do there? It's basically the same thing you did the end of the last signature.
Wait till I get there.
Okay.
Because if you tell me now, you'll probably have to tell me again then. Okay, now we're going inside from the fourth hole. Okay. And then underneath the bottom signature, back around through. Okay, come on. And then back in. So when you're coming back, you're going back in on the left side instead of, I mean, on the opposite side of how you did it before.
That's what I said when I said you bind both ways.
Yeah. Okay. And now I'm going to come down here and go out this one, if I can find it. Okay. So we're going to come out this one. And then we're going to go around that bottom one. And back in on this side. Okay. And then Now we're going out the next one. And okay. And then underneath the bottom one. Oh, great. I'm just going to see if I can pull it through because I got a knot in it and I don't. And back in. Same hole. And then out through the next one. I hope this is not the most confusing video you've ever watched. Oh dear. And around underneath. Oops, I almost went under 2 of them. Don't want to do that. And back in. And then I'm going out the last hole, if I can find it. Out the last hole. And back under and around there.
And put your next signature on top.
And put my next signature on top. All right.
Now, if your needle's pretty sharp, you're not going to want to spear your paper. So this is the point once you get your first stitch in.
Yeah. Oh, let me get my first stitch in then. You can make sure my holes are, yeah, okay. So I'm going in.
That one.
In this one.
And out through the next hole.
And out through the next hole. Okay.
And this is the part where you may want to flip.
Just a second. I'm going to go ahead and clamp that down. I think that helps me. Okay.
Actually, you may not want to. Oh, clip this thing open. That makes sense.
Yeah. You want to clip it open?
No.
Okay.
I'm good. Flip to the bottom the second signature like this. Now, you don't have to do this, but you may accidentally drive your needle straight through the paper.
Oh.
Now, you won't always, but when you, wait, give me a second. I forgot to return properly. Yeah, I'm doing great here. Now, you might not necessarily have to do this. I've done it plenty of times without having to. But it can help to open to this empty space right here to turn it through there.
Scooch over here and show them. Yeah, right there.
This is the empty space between your first signature and your second. And you can take a stitch right through there.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes it much easier to not spear straight through your paper.
Okay.
And this is why you want the curved needle.
This is why you want the curved needle. Okay.
Because you're going around a lot of stuff.
Okay, so this time I'm going down like that.
Actually, you're going, well, you can, but you can go around this way too.
Oh, yeah, because I'm going the opposite, back this direction. See, being left-handed changes the way you think about things. Okay, so I'm going like that. Okay, so I'm going to do it like this. The curved needle definitely does make that easier. And then back up. Oh, at this point, it definitely gets easier.
Yeah, this makes it really quick. It's really pretty quick finding if you...
Once you get the first cover on. Okay.
Until you get to the second cover.
And now I'm going to go like that. So I'm from this direction, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you going down through
Oh, I went
the
too
bottom
far.
stitch?
Yeah.
You
Thank
want to go
you.
down through the second signature?
Okay. See,
It,
there we go. Between the signature below the one you're working on. Between that one and, I mean, underneath the signature you're working on. And then back up. And out the next hole. And then underneath there. And back inside. And then over here. And we'll come out this hole. And underneath this second one. And back in. Out that hole. Sorry, Hannah, I'm just having to talk to myself till I figure it out.
It's okay.
And then underneath the one below. And back in. Underneath the one below. Whoops. Don't catch on the next one. Back inside. Then out the last one. And underneath the one below it. And then put another signature on top, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Is that this? No, it's bigger. Okay. I really think that clamping them down like this is helping me, so I'm going to continue to do that.
Well, I'm kind of holding mine in a specific way.
Yeah.
See, I have this finger holding the
Wait
whole
just a
book.
second. Come over here where they can see.
I have the space between these two fingers holding the rest of the book, the space between these two holding the gap between the signature I'm working and, between my previous signature and the one beneath it. And then I have these fingers holding open the signature I'm marking.
Yeah, okay. You're way more talented than me. I'm going to stick with my clamping thing.
Clamps works, it just lets me hold it up here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now I go in through this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got that little knot tied in it that has to come through each hole. And so far it hasn't been an issue, but this time it's not wanting to. What's the deal? There we go. Okay. And then I'm going back out the second hole. See, that's what always feels wrong to me when I'm... Okay, back out the second hole. And this time I'm going to go underneath the third signature.
Mm-hmm.
And back in.
And because we have to go through the holes in the top cover, in the next signature, I am going to switch out my thread.
Okay. Well, I probably will too, because I think by the time I get through with this signature, I'll be at a place where it probably needs to be done anyway. Okay, and then underneath, like that. And let's... Okay. I tied another knot. Good grief, Lisa. How am I doing that?
I don't know.
Well, you're not much help. Oh, good grief. All right. Just going to have to go with it for one more signature, and then I'll have a fresh piece of thread, and it'll be better. And then back in the same hole.
Actually, which signature you want?
This is my fourth one.
Oh, okay. I started my fifth.
Okay.
Okay. It's in the middle of that one that I'm hoping to tie off, just so that I can get the threads established in this signature before I start on the second one.
So you're tying off in the middle of the fifth signature, or in the middle of the sixth signature?
In the middle of the fifth, because the sixth is our last one.
Right. Okay. Back inside. And then all the way, oops, down here. Snug that up. And, boy, that hole's way out of sync. Okay. Underneath there. And back inside. And I really thought I was very generous with my 12 lengths, but evidently I wasn't as generous as I thought, because I'm getting one less signature than you.
Do 14 generous lengths then.
Yeah.
That might work.
Okay, and then back up in here. And out right here. Uh-oh, that sounded exasperated.
It is exasperated.
You get a knot?
No, I didn't get one of the threads of the fly through.
Oh, yeah, that's just not fun. Well, this is my very first Coptic binding. I think it's looking halfway decent for my first one.
That looks great, and it's not your first.
It's not?
No, you did this book with a cover of animals from some other old book that you Coptic bound.
Oh.
Big old sketchbook. You use brown thread.
Yeah, I'm thinking though that was when I did some weird thing. It wasn't a real Coptic binding. It was some weird adaptation. But I may be wrong. I'll have to look at it and see.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think that one.
Okay, so there's that. Oh, I need to go back around. Yeah.
Think
Oops.
get your next signature on and do a stitch in it and then cut it off so that I can show you how to tie it. Because you don't want to tie the second thread, I don't think. Give me a second to see
Okay.
if I'm doing this correctly. Okay, yes. Let me see if I can do that twice. I am going to return both of these knots outside because I do not like knots inside my signatures.
Alrighty. I'm sorry. Okay. So on my fifth signature, I'm going in the hole. And then
out through the second one.
Out through the second one.
And under. And then return it into the hole. And I'll show you how to tie it off.
Come on. Don't mess up on me now. You gotta get this one more place. Here. One more step. So if I give it a little space, if it'll come on. There we go. Okay, and now back in. Whoops. Back inside. Okay, I do want my knots inside, so.
Okay. You don't have to return them out now. You want me to just do it while you watch?
Yeah. So explain what you did there. You went under.
I went under the last stitch, and I'm leaving this little loop here. Goes in the needle in through this loop. Then I'm just gonna pull it tight like that, and I'm gonna let it off.
Wait. That's tight enough to hold it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trusting you. And then I get a new piece of thread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I'll show you how to tie that one on.
All right. Let me get some more thread here. I don't know how much I need. Well, that's probably going to be way more than enough. But I'd rather have way more than enough than get half of the cover on and.
Like, yeah, you'd be screaming at yourself.
Yeah, I would. I don't want to scream at myself. I'm too, I want to be happy. Okay, so I'm gonna. Oh, I missed it. Okay. Oh, good grief. I'm sorry. I'm having troubles here. Okay, tie my knot. And I'm okay. And now what do I do?
Don't tie your knot.
Okay, don't tie my knot. All right, no knot.
Well,
That
you
was
could,
an easy fix.
but the way I did it this time, and it's how I returned it, and this is I'm going to show you in case you want to take your knots outside the book, which is what I did. If you want to see my spine, see that big ugly mess? That's all the knots from me changing my thread.
Okay.
Because I don't like them inside my books. Okay. Now, I'm going to see if I can do this. I did it once, and part of me still like, I don't know exactly how I did that, but it worked.
Okay.
Okay, so place this one under here. If I think I'm doing this correctly. I don't know.
Oops.
Does it tie a knot? If it ties a knot, I did it right. Okay, there you go. Just go after the next one now.
Cool beans. Okay.
If it ties a knot, I did it right. Oh my.
If it slides on through, I did it wrong. Okay.
I hope you saw that because I don't know how I did it, but we have video proof that it worked.
I don't know how she did it either, so tie it off however you want inside. But that did work good. That looked like a weaver's knot, but I'm
Really?
not positive. Yeah.
I think it might have been similar. I think a weaver's knot involves 2 loops or going through the loop. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to punch my second set of cover holes.
No, wait a minute. No, you can do it just the way you did the first one? Or
Where I scream a lot and get really mad.
well, no, that wasn't the part I was thinking of, but
Yes, that's the
where
way
you
I'm
measure
gonna do
from
it.
the signature and then okay.
I started doing that because of before I decided to clamp all my signatures together to put the holes in them, which was way smarter than what I was doing. My signature holes on the top and bottom signature would never be exactly the same. And because you bind the signatures to the covers directly instead of gluing the covers on later,
Right.
I needed them to line up.
Well, that makes sense. It's just an extra security measure. Okay, now I'm going to go under here. We're doing exactly the same thing we've been doing all along. But
Yes.
Sometimes I like to watch things a bunch of times so I can get it down. So I'm going to let y'all watch the whole process instead of stopping the video. And now we're going out that one. And my holes are not lined up. But we're just going to go with it anyway because that's where the holes are.
Oh. And give me a second and then I'll do this. If you watch the Coptic binding video we're going to link, and you do the whole flipping your signatures thing, make sure that your signature
right there
is oriented. See the little arrow? You probably can't see it because this is white paper, but you see the little arrow. And the cover are oriented to go on top. So instead of when I made the bottom cover, I had the little arrow facing up because that's how I stacked all of them, but this is on top. So I have the arrow essentially under the cover for punching the holes.
Okay.
That's just a good thing to know.
I think that I've got my Coptic binding maybe too tight. I think that's what gives it alligator mouth.
What's that?
Where it,
Oh, I'm just paranoid, so I bind everything tight.
okay.
Like,
Well, I was to say, this one lays down.
that's because I
Eventually.
pressed it under a couple of books to dry the in pages.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how you do that, I guess.
So. Okay. Here's my last one. And I'm going to go underneath there and back out.
Yeah, you're too close together. I'm just gonna punch you right now.
Uh-oh. I got in my thread. Don't get in your thread.
I'm punching you too.
Okay. I went back in. I shouldn't have gone back in.
No, you really shouldn't have.
Okay.
Like, you need to go under, which you did, I assume, since you went back in. But you need to keep it on top. And is this your 5th signature?
Okay, so now that I'm back out. Okay.
Is this number 5?
This is number 5.
Okay, you need to punch your 2nd set of holes. Because we're gonna bind the top cover and the last signature together.
Oh, ooh, okay.
Yes, it's quite a dance.
That's a little scary. Okay.
And I'm punching my holes as I mark them just because I am tired of having problems with punching these holes in this fabric.
Okay, so I take this one and my arrow is in here.
Okay, and you have them facing up, right?
Huh?
Your arrows are facing up while you bind, right? They're laying down.
No, they're laying down.
Okay, so this is technically upside down from how it's supposed to go.
So like that.
Yes. So is it laying on here the way it would be? Is that the way it should be laying?
Yes.
Okay, then you're good.
Then I'm good. Okay. So I'm gonna do this. I like to clamp things. It makes me feel less paranoid. And then I'm gonna mark from the holes in this signature. Okay. Now then, I'm going to lay that like that because that's how it goes. That'll help me remember that maybe. Clamp it on just to keep me happy because I don't like it flopping around. Okay. Now I need to measure. Oops, sorry.
It's okay.
Measure my holes.
You missed your first one. This is your 1/4 inch hole.
Right.
You had your ruler laying on your
thank you.
hole.
Well, I was mostly trying to figure out where that 1/4 inches were. Okay, I'm going to move your thing over there so I have room to lay my ruler. Okay, 1/4 inch. Oops. Try to do this. No, I can't. Okay, we're just going to have to hope I'm doing it straight. That's how I did the other one, and it worked out okay. And then a 1/2 inch. And then 3/4 of an inch. And 1 inch. Okay, so got there and there and there and there. And over here, I want to do an inch. And then 3/4 of an inch. Half an inch. And 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I've got those marked. I don't know if you can see my marks. And so now I'm going to punch them. Don't mess up my... I think that one's a little too far over, so I'm going to punch it in a different spot and hope my ink mark goes away. Alright, I'm going to turn it over here and go through this side.
Don't pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm trying to see if I can remember how to put the covers on without watching the video.
Alright, I won't pay attention.
Good. I know the very first cover hole on the top is different from the rest. So I may need to pull this all out.
Oh dear, I totally messed that one up. Luckily, this was kind of self-heal. Okay. Okay.
Now I want to go back and watch the video.
Alright, we will. Let me get my holes punched. Well, I'm just gonna, you know how to punch holes. We're gonna pause here and we'll be back in a minute and show you how to put the cover in the last signature on. Okay, now we've got them lined up, sort of lined up. Mine's not lined up really great because I had
Technical difficulties.
yeah. I'm gonna have to try to flip this one over and see if that's, I don't think that'll fix anything. I think it's a,
You'd be surprised.
well, this side looks perfect, and so that's why I'm not sure it'll fix anything. Actually, it did. Okay. All right. Handa's got all that finger magic going on, so she doesn't need to clamp hers, but it really helps me to clamp them.
I might need it for the cover though.
Clamp it in place. Get the bigger one. That one's not big enough. Okay.
My book's really thin.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So now I've got my cover and my last signature both lined up in here. And what I'm going to do first is go through the cover on top. And then wrap around and go in the hole of them in the signature.
In the first hole.
Okay, then I'm going to wrap around. Now, do I wrap around underneath this signature here or underneath the one below?
No, you wrap around the thread.
So right here or down here?
No, right between the last signature and the cover.
Right here.
Yes.
Okay, between your last signature and your cover, you wrap around. Okay. If you can hold on to your needle. Good grief, that binding clip is getting in the way. Okay. And then I go into my first signature. I mean, my last signature. So I haven't even touched the signature yet until this point.
Yes, which is why even if you haven't been clamping, you probably should for this. And clamp in the middle of the last signature.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And so now I'm going to find that hole. Okay. Woo! Whoops. There's a lot of finagling at first to keep everything where you want it. Okay. And then I'm going to go out the second hole. Okay. And then,
in between the 5th and 4th signatures.
Okay, then I'm going to go under here to attach it together and then back in the cover, right?
Yes, like this.
Okay, back in the cover and then out between the cover and the first signature?
Yes.
Okay, out between the cover and the first signature.
I've been doing that. That's wrong. Okay. I figured it out now. Then I think you loop around the space between the 6th and the 5th signature like this. Which I finally got. I have not been doing that correctly. Like that. And then you return into the 6th signature.
Okay. And then go back in. Find the hole. Find your center. And go back in that signature. And then out the next signature. The next hole. And in from the top. And under the 5th and 4th instead of the 5th and 6th.
No.
No?
Okay, you come out of the 6th signature, go under the 5th and 4th, go between the 5th and 4th, pull it up to the cover, then go around in this space between the 5th and 6th and return into 6th.
Okay, so I did my cover a step too soon.
Yes, I think. And this is what the video said to do. You may be able to do it. I've seen our ways to put the covers on Coptic books.
Okay.
Where you just bind all the textbook and then put the covers on. But they cover up this cute braided look.
Yeah.
And I just don't like that, you know?
All right, so let's go back out. Do it right. Because I got a whole bunch more of these to do. I don't want to be confused on all of them. Okay, so I came out my signature.
Go under between 5th and 4th.
Okay, then go under between the 5th and 4th. And then in through. Then in through your cover. Okay.
Which makes sense in a way because then it ties the cover directly to the signatures beneath it.
Right. Okay. And then I go between the 5th and 6th and then back in.
Yes.
To the 6th signature. Okay. Okay, I think I did something wrong here. But we're going to keep going because I think I did the other one wrong too. But we're going to just keep going on this and do them right from here on out. Okay. Okay, we're going out the next hole, around between the 4th and 5th signature. And then in through the cover. In through the cover. And then around between the 5th and 6th signature, and then back in the hole.
Okay.
Was I wrong?
No.
Oh, you just don't quite have enough thread.
I'm gonna scream.
Oh.
Or I'll figure something out. I have a plan, don't worry.
Okay. Hannah has a plan.
It might
I'm glad
actually
because come down here, go under my 4th and 5th, between my 4th and 5th signature.
Can you take the scissors and cut this?
Right here?
Yeah, then thread on the needle, but don't tie it.
No? I'm sorry, honey. The hole in your needle is very small. Here, I'll hold this. You do that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So then I go under that and back up through the cover. And then around between the 5th and 6th signature and back into the middle, or back into the signature here. Okay. And then I may be getting there too. I thought I had plenty of thread. I thought I had plenty. Okay.
Oh, great. Okay, my last one's going on wrong because I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. And then back through here. And okay, find the center. Uh-oh. 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 Uh-oh.
Okay. All we need to do is put our ink pages on.
Alrighty.
Well, that's all I need to do.
Well, you go look for end pages while I try to figure out how I messed up here. And
Do you need my help?
well, I got a and
Oh, that.
I can't get it to tighten back up. It's because I pulled it around the thing. It's not, it's like I feel like I'm going to break it if I.
Okay,
Let me
let
just.
me see my nail.
It's from before that. I just need to undo what I did and.
Yeah, I'm good. Go find them pages.
Okay.
Okay, look what about here.
I don't care. I gotta undo what I did. Oh wait, that was.
So I need to decide about ties. Are you gonna put these ties in yours?
I don't know. I think I want to, but I'm not positive. Okay, I'm gonna. There we go. Okay, tighten that back up. All right. Now then, I go in the cover. Make sure your pages, your strings are snug before you go to the next step. Otherwise, you have to back up like I did. Oh, wait a minute. That's not going to work. I didn't back up to the right step. Okay, I'm back over here going between the 5th and 6th. And then back in. Okay, now out here and between the 4th and 5th, and I'm going to run out of thread too. I think I really am. We'll see. And then through the cover. Between the 5th and 6th. And back into my. Give yourself way more than you think you need. Because I thought I gave myself more than I needed, and I did not. Under there. And back in here. Between the 5th and 6th signatures. And back inside here. Okay. And back inside. And I'm going to bring it okay. This is going to probably be the weirdest tying off ever because I don't have enough string to tie it off. We will try to show you a better way to tie it off next time, but what I'm going to do is just pull one underneath and one on top and then tie a knot. So I'm going around that thread, tie my knot around that thread. I'm going to do that a couple of times. Do you need a page cutter, paper cutter?
That one.
Okay. All right. Now we've got our little book bound. Isn't that cute? I'm happy, even though my stitching's not perfect. I'm still happy. I like it. And now we've got to put our end pages on, front and back. And I guess I need to decide which is the front and which is the back.
They've all been oriented this way for the top cover.
This is the top cover?
It is now.
It is now. Okay, this is the top cover. Well, couldn't I do it that way?
Well, you can. They'll open the same way. Well, I mean, where the spine faces up this way instead facing up that way.
Yeah, yeah.
They've all been oriented that way is what I meant.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying. I can flip it though, and I can make this the front or this the front because it's just jelly prints inside.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with this as my front though. And so this is my end paper for the front. So am I going to glue it down here and then
You glue
fold
it to
it?
the entire. No, you fold it first.
Fold it first, just like I do the other papers.
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to remember why I didn't do that before, but I think it was so I wouldn't forget which one was the end papers. Okay, so I'm going to glue it to the cover like that, and then glue a little bit over here.
Yes.
And just lay it down on that.
Yeah. You really probably could get away with a 1/4 of an inch to glue down if you let it set properly.
Okay. Actually, I'm wondering if I shouldn't glue it to this first and then put glue on here and close it onto that. Do you think that would work?
I don't know.
Okay, I think I'm going to try it.
I've only ever done the other way, so I can't tell.
Okay. And I'm going to pause a minute and go get my glitter glue because that's what I like and it's in the house. Okay, I forgot to turn the video back on somewhere and I'm not sure where. I am so sorry. I hope that it was that we got the end papers, and I hope you saw some oh, good grief. I'll find out later where I messed up, but here's our bound book. Good grief. Well, we will, whatever you missed this time, we will show you at the hangout or at the craft together on August probably the 20th is when we'll be binding it. So I'll have to go back and watch the video and see where I messed up and forgot to put it on. We just put end pages in, glued them down. I'm not sure what happened. I'm so sorry.
Mine's not as pretty as hers, but you can see it anyway.
It's pretty. It just doesn't have fancy, I mean, it doesn't have, you know, it doesn't have that kind of paper inside. It's got paper to write on or draw on inside. So her paper is a little thinner than my paper, so her book is thinner than my book. Plus I used leather and she used fabric, so that makes my book look bulkier too. But anyway, I'm sorry we messed up somewhere. God bless you, and I hope this makes you want to try this out, and not make you scared to try it out. We'll
It
see.
really is fun.
It really is. Once you figure out what you're doing, and it goes pretty quick in the middle. It's just the two covers that are the, you have to think about extra. Anyway, God bless you, and we'll see you on August 6th.